Listen to this headline, MyPillow to donate 500 pillows to Union Gospel Mission. Now, granted, that was a headline from MyPillow, but still, I'm glad to see that Mike Lindell and the gang are doing right by UGM and a lot of other people, too. Mike, how are you?
Great, John.
You know, they said, hey, Mike's going to do this thing. Do you want to have him on? And I said, well, I don't know, because he's already been on, and then he's going to come on again when the book comes out. The book's not out yet, right?
This fall.
But then they said, well, he gave 500 pillows to Union Gospel Mission, which I said, I can say that. But then they said, but he's also going to be talking about his personal challenges with recovery that some of the people there have had to go through. And I've always thought that was a compelling story of yours. Good for you for continuing to, fly that flag. Tell people to be courageous and strong and fight that fight.
Right. And you know that I did that today. We gave away all the pillows, and I went in. That's where I love to give back, but these guys fit, the Union Gospel fits exactly where I was, because I was an addict. It's Christian, and I was actually I'd never done that before. It was an hour speech to all these addicts.
You'd never done that before?
What do you mean? Not that many people. I've never told, an hour talk about my personal life. I've talked to, like you, I told you my story.
Oh, I know.
But it was,
we know, Mike.
But I did great. I felt it went off great. They all came up. I got a standing ovation. These guys, I wanted to give them hope and some faith and some, and they were all where I've been. They all could relate to the stories of my drugs, my crack addiction.
How old were you when you first started using?
1984.
What year? So that's the year. How old were you at the time?
24, maymaybe.
That old?
Yeah, 25.
I mean, by that time, most kids have figured it out if they're going to use or not.
Right.
That strikes me as late.
I had drinking, but they know that I first tried cocaine.
Were you an alcoholic prior to your using of substances?
I maybe, but not. You're
functional, huh?
It's very functional.
Yeah.
And then I did cocaine for all the way through the 90s, and then when it switched to crack cocaine, then it was like, it's such hard work to be on any kind of drug.
Did you think you had it under control all along? Like you knew this is bad, but I can manage? Was that how you were operating those years?
Yeah, I was I was actually a very functioning cocaine addict. When crack came along, though, you can't function that. You're hiding behind closed doors, you're paranoid and the things that go with that, and it was very dysfunctional.
Was it also, I would imagine this is true for anybody that's addicted to cigarettes or alcohol or anything. Mm-hmm. You must at some point hate that you're losing all your money, particularly something like that.
The money, that's kind of a fallacy. When you go into treatment centers and they say, you don't have your friends, you've lost your friends, you're out of money, you don't have anything left, you've sold all your possessions. We already know that as addicts. That's, you're an addict. You're
pointing that out isn't going to change your behavior.
Pain, you're covering pain, inner pain, or, usually goes back to your childhood pains or trauma, and it manifests itself in, addictions. And
those physical urges trump everything then. I mean, if you're an addict, even though you're going to lose your money, your wife, your house,
absolutely.
your kids.
That doesn't matter. It's, you want it's not even the high. It's more of a mask for pain, for your person, pains that, that's why a lot of treatment centers, that's what I love about Union Gospel and places like that. They go, they start from the, you got to get your inner pain addressed. You got your faith in God, but you got to, if you just quit doing drugs and quit alcohol and quit it, you still have that, going, okay, this is horrible. I'm walking around. I still feel bad, And to get those things addressed,
you need to address those root causes.
You need to address those where the pain's coming from, and then a lot of addicts, you go through addiction, you get help, and if you coming out the other end, then you also what's there. You're going, wow, I have nothing. I don't have any money. I don't have any friends. That my family doesn't trust me. You've lost trust, and trust is a hard thing to get.
That's how you create an addict. So then they just fall back.
Then they fall back into it. Right? They need to have hope. They need to have faith. And you got to give an addict trust. At my company, I have 750 employees. And second chance ones that I give second chances to, I had one of my departments. They go, well, we did a background check on this guy, and he's been an addict, and he's went to jail. Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, did you look at your CEO? I'm going,
come on. Telling that too?
Yeah, I'm going. There's some of the people that you've given them a second chance.
But you got to be smart about it too, though, Mike. You got to be smart about it.
Oh,
too,
absolutely,
though.
and we are. We've had some. I get some that come in and they've given them a second chance and they fail. But you know what? I am not going to ruin 20 people because I'm not going to, if one of them fails and 19 of them, you changed their lives and you gave them hope, it's worth it. It's not, it's not like I'm going to make everybody wear a helmet because somebody bumped their head.
So when did you have your change? When did you find was there an epiphany?
January 16, 2009. And the day before, I got to a point, I had lost everything. MyPillow, the people that came in and copied it, even my...
So you were doing the pillow company?
Oh, yeah, I was doing the pillow company. I started the pillow company in 2005. In 2009, at the end of 2008, it was like the old TV where the light's going out on the TV, you turn it off, you get that little light, and you quick turn it on, and it got to January 16, 2009, and I knew I couldn't go one day further where I couldn't get it all back and show with God everything, anything's possible. And I just made one prayer that day. I said, God, I want to wake up tomorrow and not have the desire ever, and then I'm all yours. And I did that. The next day I woke up and I'm going, wow, it was like a burden lift off. Addiction's hard work, to hide addictions and to function in it. And it was just amazing where I woke up and I've never had dreams about it. I've never had.
Wait a minute. So you prayed that night that you'd wake up without the urge the next day.
Yes.
The next day you woke up and you didn't feel the urge. You must have later that day, though.
No, I crack, cocaine, alcohol, tobacco.
To what do you attribute that?
God, 100%.
You think you are a miracle?
Yeah, that was a miracle. And I knew if I waited one more day, I would not be able to go to show the amazing platform God has me on, that with God everything is possible. And because the pillow company wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be, it was a miracle. It was a miracle.
I wonder how helpful your story is to the next guy, because a lot of people pray for help the next day and it's not there.
Right. And you know what? And I told this story today in front of those 200 or whatever, all this, the addicts that were there, and I told them, I said, even though that next day, I was free of that. Yeah, that doesn't happen to everybody. But, just because all of a sudden now I'm freed of addiction and stuff, you don't think from 2009 until as we speak here, there were miracles all the time. The things that happened, bad things haven't happened all the time. Now it's how you handle them. Things still are going to come up.
So however you beat it, your message was stay on the straight and narrow. You've got to continue to live that life.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can be, just because God freed me of that, I work on myself every day. I still, you still have.
You kind of
have to learn how to live again.
Mike, I got a minute left.
Yep.
You didn't go through a traditional treatment program?
Oh, I did many times. They don't work.
But the day it worked was that day. That was the day you found the courage, the will, the strength. Unbelievable. Well, so there you were at Union Gospel Mission today, which is a Christ-centered recovery center that we do a lot with here on WCCO, and you handed out pillows to give those guys a better night's rest. This isn't a commercial, but good for you, and thanks for doing that.
Thank you, John.
Talking about it. Well, when's the pub date on your book now?
We're hoping September.
You got to whittle it down from 18,000 pages. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's been the toughest part. We're down to about 350. My book writer says, Mike, believe me, you're going to get the point across and it's it's going to be pretty amazing. Good. You'll be the first one to know when it's coming out, John.
Mike Lindell from MyPillow. Congratulations. Thanks for coming by. Good for you. It's 3.